everybody. Welcome to today's edition of the Gamut Network. This is a super exciting interview we're about to have because this is a territory that is groundbreaking. I think we are lucky to get Lisa on the show before she skyrockets to complete fame. But I am really excited to have you here today, Lisa. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so very much for having me. I am honored and delighted to be here.
Perfect. So let's go right in. Can you tell us a little bit about your professional history?
So professionally, I started as a clown many years ago working with Ringling Brothers. I did school shows with them. I did advance with them. I went on to work with the clown care unit of Big Apple Circus. I started a company called Super Scientific Circus with my husband, doing school shows, libraries, theaters, performing arts centers. I performed in state fairs, and all of that kind of wound itself around until I became the director of community programs with the Big Apple Circus. I worked with Circus of the Senses, and working with that program in our population just hit home for me, and it changed the direction of my world, and here I am.
So can you tell us a little bit about the Circus of Senses? If somebody doesn't know what that is, can you explain that a little bit more?
Yeah. So Circus of the Senses was a program started in 1987 at the original Big Apple Circus. And it was a program designed to open the door to circus to audiences which had previously not been able to enjoy it because there were no access bridges. It started with an audio description for the blind. We soon added American Sign Language for the deaf. We added different adaptations for people with cognitive challenges. We pulled out all the seats so that instead of 15 wheelchairs, we could fit 33 wheelchairs.
Amazing.
So we created the space in a way to make it as accessible as possible to people who couldn't at that time normally attend a circus. It just wasn't going to work. And then under my tutelage, we then added an autism program because they were trying to lump, as it started, everybody was coming to the same show. But when you think about it, you realize that someone who has a hearing, who is hard of hearing, needs the exact opposite accommodation as someone who is sensory sensitive, who is sensitive to sound. So we created two separate shows back in 2014, 2015, something like that, 2012, I forgot, a while. That's what Circus of the Senses was. And then Big Apple Circus, the not-for-profit version, declared bankruptcy and was reformed as a for-profit company. And I became the director of community programs, creating Circus of the Senses and carrying it even further. And then when they folded with the pandemic and terminated everybody, I said, you know what? The time is now. That's the show I really want. The Circus of the Senses.
That not to the front burner rather
exactly.
than the back burner, right?
It's not the back burner where you get to come one day a week if you happen to need an accommodation. You should be able to come every single day to every single show. And not only that, why are you looking at people that you have nothing in common with? We need to be inclusive in the ring and out the ring. So not only must all the access bridges for the audience be front and center, but the performers have to be completely everybody. So when, no matter who you are, you go in that ring and you see, oh wow, that person's a little bit like me. Hey, that person's a little bit like you.
I love that so much. I'm gonna pause there for a second because there's a couple of things I want to bring to the forefront. The first is that what a unifying element the circus is, right? For everybody, no matter what age, no matter what ability, no matter your skin color, it doesn't matter. The circus is for everyone, right? I mean, it's kind of like music, that it's just a unifier of joy and happiness. And what I love about what we just started talking about is it's obviously very similar to what we do at Gamut, as we feel that rebranding who people with disabilities are in the public eye really gives a whole new kind of landscape to our world. So to your point, having performers that have disabilities and not just the act being adaptive, having all the elements that would require everybody to enjoy it. But there's a quote that I love, and I honestly cannot remember who said it, but it's really, if you don't see it, you can't dream it. And what you have created is you're allowing people of all abilities to dream about being in the circus or doing something that is unimaginable. Can you tell us a little bit about the performers that you have in the circus, and particularly those with disabilities?
We have an amazing array of performers. I love them all so much. We have one Jen Bricker Bauer is our aerialist, and she's a young woman who's a gymnast, very talented aerialist. She was born with no legs. We have a hand balancing act, dupla mão na roda, which means four hands and two wheels. They're out of Brazil. It's an incredible hand balancing act, and one of the pair uses a wheelchair. Our main clown, who's like kind of ties our whole show together, is a phenomenal clown originally from Russia, Maxim Fomichev. He's deaf. Our ringmaster is the ringmaster from, used to be on Ringling. I know him from there, but he's an incredible ringmaster, Mr. Jonathan Lee Iverson. He is partnering with a character we call the Poet. And this is a young man who's a circus performer, a gymnast, a dancer, an acrobat, who was born of a deaf family. So ASL is his first language. So that everything the ringmaster says is said in two languages.
Amazing.
So that we're intrinsically inclusive. We have performers who are sixth generation circus. They're circus royalty in my eyes, the Espana family, and they know circus. Their whole world is circus. We have Jason Span, who's an incredible pole artist from a military background.
Amazing.
We also have a young woman from China, because we have a huge Chinese population, obviously, and she's an incredible foot juggler. She's a Guinness World Record foot juggler.
What is so revolutionary about what you're doing, but yet should it even be, is look at all of the talent. You are focusing on talent, right?
Oh, yeah.
It doesn't matter anything about them. It's the talent that you are putting on display. And shouldn't that be how our world is, right? Shouldn't we be hiring the best people for the role, whether they have two legs or not, whether they are in a wheelchair or not, is exactly what you are exemplifying through your circus, which, by the way, we didn't even talk about what the name is.
Oh, I'm sorry. Circus Omnium.
Beautiful.
We created the name because omnium is the Latin word for of all and belonging to all.
That says it all. And it feels very Cirque du Soleil, by the way, that name. It feels very much in the vein of the circus world. Have you had a moment since you created Omnium that you had this kind of wow moment of what you have created? Did you have an experience or story or something that you're like, this is what I was meant to do?
Yes. Every minute of my day, it feels so right. I think as a pivotal moment, it would be the day the New York Times review came out.
Amazing. When was that?
It was this year.
Amazing.
January 21st, the New York Times article came out and called us genuinely extraordinary.
You don't get better than that. Now that we have everybody extremely excited, how do we see the circus? What do we do? Where do we go?
So right now we are virtual, obviously, and you go to omniumcircus.org/tickets. Okay. We are playing Wednesday through Sunday every single week. Join our mailing list. Every week I try to send out something just to keep you up on what we're doing and how we're doing it. We started a new practice random acts of kindness. I don't know if you know that term. It was,
of course,
there was a campaign a long time ago, practice random acts of kindness and senseless beauty.
Beautiful.
So we're trying to encourage people, even if you've seen the show, to gift a ticket to someone else. If you don't know who to gift it to, that's okay. We have a waiting list.
Amazing. Is the actual circus being performed live and it's just streamed? Or how does it work in terms of virtual?
So what we've done, because it's a pandemic, we filmed every single person uniquely for this show. And
Okay.
we've edited all together in a combination of you see their act, you see their amazing performance, and a little bit later in the show we talk to them a little. So you'll get an interview, you get to talk to the, well, you don't talk, but they'll talk a little bit about their experience and who they are and how they've come into the world, because we wanted to embrace the art form that is virtual.
Love it.
So in a live performance, that would be in the program notes.
Exactly. But also, I mean, I know this from the work that we've done. There's almost something, there's an absolute silver lining to the virtual, is that you really get to know the performers better. And in our case, the models or the talent, as people, as people first, and then you get to see the unbelievable talent that they have. And it sounds like that is something that people will really benefit from the virtual aspect of this. But is there are we going to be, do you feel like live, and is it on the horizon?
It is 100% on the horizon. We are actually really very excitedly looking forward to that. So right now we are virtual. As I said, we have study guides, social stories, everything we need. And then this summer, we're going to hopefully do a few pop-up events where we can show the film in a much larger situation and have a few live performers. Then by fall, we want to be live under a big top. We have our tent, figuring out the details.
Let's say the website one more time, please, for people.
For the hearing world to connect with us, www.omniumcircus.org is our website. All of our social media handles are at omniumcircus.org. We're on all of them. Please connect, like us, follow us, join our website. To get tickets, it's omniumcircus.org/tickets. And
Beautiful. Before we go, I like to ask all of my guests one final question. I am a very big believer in a vision board and manifesting what I want to happen in this lifetime. If we got to look onto Lisa's vision board, what would we see?
Lisa's vision board would have Circus Omnium touring under a big top in New York, in Boston, in DC as much as possible. Each year creating new acts, inspiring young people of all abilities to practice, to hone their art form, so that there were many opportunities for people to create a beautiful, beautiful circus where lots of people could come. And in the eventuality, I see a world where, it sounds terrible, but where I'm no longer unique, where everybody does. This is obvious. Of course.
And it does not sound terrible. It sounds beautiful and exactly where we do want to get to. I hope I get to a place where I don't even need to have these conversations anymore, because it's just so commonplace and a part of our mainstream world. So I have no doubt that's exactly what's going to happen. And I'm so excited to have had you on the show. I can't wait to watch the circus myself. And I really encourage everybody to get involved, to support, and let's just make this a part of our mainstream world. Who doesn't love the circus, honestly? So thank you.
Thank you for sharing. Thank you for having me on here. And I'm excited to see you at the circus.
Fantastic. If you would like to be on the Gamut Network, please email us at talent@gamutmanagement.com to tell us why you'd be a great guest. Also, don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel at the Gamut Network, as well as follow us on social media at Gamut Management. Thank you again.
Thank you.